the first thing you need to do is download a picture. So I'm going to go into my Google Photos, find a picture, and download it. When you see the download pop up at the bottom of your screen, you can actually drag that straight into this Pixlr photo editor. So I can click on this picture download down here, drag it up, and when I let go, it should open the file directly in the program. For the first project, we're going to cut the subject out of the background of a photo. So I'm going to leave, this is my cow Daisy. I'm going to leave Daisy in the photo, but I'm going to erase all of the background around her. To do that, you're going to get the scissors tool on the left-hand side. And then there's a few different ways that you can erase the background. You can make a shape and it will delete what's inside the shape, or delete what's around the shape, depending on which one of these modes you have chosen. If you have the wrong way chosen, like my picture of my cow Daisy, that part deleted and it just saved the part that I made the square, you can either go over here to the history and click up one, or the same way that we were using with Illustrator, where you could hold Control and press Z as in zebra. That works to go back in this program also. So up here under Mode, we have Add to Mask, and we have Remove from Mask. So if we're drawing the part that we want to erase, we want this Remove from Mask selected. Then when you draw the shape, it deletes that part. Another important thing to look at up here is where it says feather. That's how much blur there is between the edge of your shape. So if I have a feather of 0, it's not going to blur at all. You can see it's a very straight line. There's no feathering or no smoothing of that line. Where if I have a really high amount of feather when I draw the shape, it has a lot of smoothing. It's not that crisp, clear line. So you want to keep this feather pretty low. I would say anywhere between 1 and 10 is a good amount of feather. You have the shapes that you can use. You have the magic wand that you can use. When you click the magic wand, you'll also see some more things come up. So we have the tolerance. That's how many colors to either side it's going to do. So if I click on a green, it's going to erase everything that is similar to that green. The lower this number is, the more similar to that green it needs to be. So if I have a tolerance of 1, it's only going to erase that one exact color of green. If I have it set to 15, it's going to do a little bit bigger of colors of green. If I have it set, let's say in the 70s, it's going to erase most of the greens in your picture. If contiguous is turned on, that means that everything it's erasing needs to be next to the same shape. So if I have, let's say, a tolerance of 16, if contiguous is on and I click, it's only erasing things that actually touch. And if it gets somewhere where that green doesn't touch, it stops. If contiguous is turned off and I touch the same area, you see it's going to pick every little bit of the picture that has a similar color to that in it. You can also use the brush and do a mask. If you want to change the size of your brush, you're going to go up next to where it says brush and has the circle. You can change the size of your brush. You can change the softness, which is like that feather that we just looked at. And you could change the steps. I would leave it at 0% steps. That's going to give you a smooth line. If you want a square, you could choose a square. There's a bunch of different shapes that you can use. And then when you draw, it will give you a highlighted area where you're drawing. When you release the mouse button, it will actually erase that portion of the background. If you accidentally erase something that you want to add back into it, you can always click back to this add to mask. And then when you draw, you'll see it show up green and it adds the picture back into it. So we have remove from mask that works like an eraser, and add to mask that puts the picture back to where you can see it. So add to mask shows the picture, remove from mask erases the picture. There's also the lasso mask, which you can draw a random shape and it will erase that part if you're on this remove from mask. So especially if you have detailed areas, the lasso is a good tool. You can follow the line exactly of something. Make sure you go back to where it started and it will erase everything that's within that area. You can also set the feather when you're using the lasso, just like when we used some of the other tools. If you have add to mask selected when you're using the lasso tool, it's going to add back in those areas of the picture that you want to see. So add to mask and remove from mask, and you can go back and forth until you have your picture perfectly cut out. When your picture is perfectly cut out, you're going to go up to File, Save, and you're going to save this on your computer and upload it to Google Classroom. Please save it as a PNG file, and then you're going to click Download. You can name this. Please name it with your name, and then Pixlr 1, because this is the first Pixlr project that you need to complete.